There's a store across the street. We're not selling alcohol. We're not going to have people hanging out. We're gonna monetize who comes in the building. We're gonna have full security. We're gonna comply with APRA. That's what I can tell you that we're gonna do.
It will be like a pharmacy. It will not be a smoke shop. Therein lies the difference. There will not be people hanging out. There will not be a smell of marijuana inside or outside of the premises. It's against, we can't do that. And we don't intend to, because as I went through my journey, and I was not a smoker because I have had lung surgery and I cannot smoke. I cannot be around smoke. In the environment with a lot of smoke, I would probably wound up in the ER. But what I will say is that um, the way that it will be run, people will be able to come in as I did when I was going through my journey and be able to pick out what they need, and it will be very discreet. We don't intend to. I would not have been able to conduct business and do the things that I do on a daily basis, walking with the smell of marijuana, and that is not what we intend. And that is not, we intend to have professionals and people who are want to move with discretion, you know, and we want to partner with the neighborhood. We want to really use this as an enhancement for the neighborhood, different things that you all may want to do or that we want to do, because we're one borough over, Woodridge. We're one step over from you. So I'm a native Washingtonian, graduated from Trinity College. I love the city, and we only want to make it better, you know?
Good evening.
No, I'm sorry. Just I want to make sure there's Miss Bradley. Did you
Yeah,
have your hand raised earlier?
I did, and then I took it down.
Okay, okay, that's what I thought. So because of that, I'm gonna recognize you, and then I also see Mr. Lockett. I see you, sir. So you're gonna be next. So Miss Bradley, then Mr. Lockett.
Yes, good evening. I'm not thoroughly educated when it comes to medical marijuana, but I know of people, I've had family members who use it, rely on it for relief. And so I'm going to continue to educate myself. I know that you said you have a security plan in place. Maybe at the committee of the whole, we will hear more details regarding security. And when you refer to security, are you emphasizing internal security or both inside and outside? That's one question. My second question is, do you have any renderings for that space in terms of what it will look like? Because that strip is an eyesore. It's
Thank you. Thank
it's
you.
raggedy.
That's
The
it. Thank you.
blacktop, the tar is, crumbling. And I think we have what, only full yum there. And so I don't know who the owner is, but uh, I know that they have different dispensaries throughout the district, and some look really clean. It looks decent, and it's, kind of pleasing to the eye. So I'm just curious if you could speak to those areas.
So I can, and also thank you for acknowledging you. God bless you. So I can tell you this: I don't eat out of. I own restaurants and stuff, things of that nature. I don't eat out of carryouts, but there was a leak coming from their freezer. Their freezer is attached to our unit, and that is one of the most cleanest Chinese carryouts inside I've ever seen. And so we opposed to the owners about us helping them um, do a facelift, and they're not opposed to it. So they said that we could actually start it out with our painting. The neighbors in the Korean restaurant, they're so nice. So I don't even think they're going to have an issue with kind of complying if we come up with a uniformity or uniform system. We turned in a package, and we'll definitely make sure we share it with in the meeting. So ABCA, they request a security plan, a very thorough security plan, internal, exterior. And so we had to abide by that security plan, which is you got to your camera's got to roll 24 hours. You have to have hold up buttons. We have key fobs that let you in and out. Of all those things, we have cameras positioned certain kind of ways. So we're compliant, and we will be compliant with APCA laws itself. It's very small. Inside is about 600-700 square feet. So we did a very simple design. We'll have that. We'll be able to share that with you. We turned it in as a package as well. Very sleek look, kind of like a little small modern Apple type store. Not too aggressive, but just very modern. So we'll definitely be happy to share that. We have the ANC has it now, but we'll if this they don't mind and the emails are dropped, we will definitely share it directly to individual emails.
Thank you.
Mr. Lockett, yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. How is everyone this evening? Getting ready for Thanksgiving. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. I have a couple of questions for you and concerns, sir. Okay. First, you mentioned something about the laws says that where the location is between schools and things of that nature. Is that correct?
Correct. My wife did, but yes, correct.
Okay. Now, do you know that building is within, I say, 200 feet of a church and 50 feet of a family restaurant? Okay, there. And secondly, were there other locations you could tell us that you looked at before you came there on
We
Long
looked,
Avenue or Woodbridge?
Mr. Lockett, we looked over the whole city. I don't know if you're aware, but right across the street there's a beer and wine store. About 100, about down further, there's a liquor store. Again, so we're just trying to be in compliance with what we have for Africa, and we're trying to bring something to the neighborhood that we thought that you guys would appreciate. So we do our homework. We turn it into Africa. Once Africa is approved, that's how we move. So we looked
Okay,
at different. We looked at different spots in Chinatown. Oh my God, there's so much stuff and things going on in Chinatown. We looked at things on Rhode Island Avenue. It was just for my family, for my wife and my kids, I just didn't feel safe of them being in those different locations. Some of the ones that we looked at, beside the rent being out of control, we felt that was safer for us. My family, my wife we live down the street. It's close to a stable, which is McDonald's. So we just felt like that spot was the spot for us. And then we also was able to afford the rent that we have there.
Well, you make it sound like to me that the main concern is about the well-being of you and your family and your business, not the community. Because from what I see here, from what you told us in the previous meeting, you said that ABBA had to make you find a location. And I'm saying this because it left me to believe that you're being disrespectful to the community by going here and purchasing that, put down payments on that without consulting us in this neighborhood who have to live with that. That really caught me off guard. We fought off a liquor store there for Lord knows how many times there, and it took us hard time with the people in the community to stand up there and fight that. But I ask you these questions because I don't think that's the right location for you, sir. I'll be honest with you. But I'm saying again, I'm emphasizing on what I thought was being disrespectful to the community by going here and making this move and not consulting us the same we would do to your community if we came up on Lawn Street and decided to put a liquor store 2 stores or blocks from you. You may be against that. And you just mentioned something about crime for your family and stuff up on Rhode Island Avenue. We feel the same way here in North Michigan Park. We have a beautiful, well-groomed community that we lived here. I've lived here for almost 50 years. I live directly across the street where the alley is, where the wooden fence rail. And I've lived here. And I do not want to see people coming up on that place on Sunday where church people coming to McDonald's or to Yum's to get something to eat. And you have people here purchasing marijuana 7 days a week, 24, I don't know if it's 24 hours a day, but I do not think that is fair to the community here. We do not live in a cheap community. These homes in this community now running $700,000 and up. That is not something that you just stick in the community and think is okay. Well, again, I did not appreciate not notifying North Michigan Park that your intentions were to put something there. And all of a sudden, now you're telling us this is your intention to put something there, but it's between a church and a family restaurant. Thank you.
And one thing I'll say to that, Mr. Lockett, because your comments are are heard, sir. I appreciate you as always. Is that a lot of times businesses and different government agencies within DC, they sometimes do not ensure that those that need to come before the ANC do so in the proper time. We've seen this as well when it comes to the hypothermia shelter that we dealt with last year.
Mhm.
When DHS just was going to put that in our community without having, come before the ANC. And so that's what, myself and others, we try to do. Once we get wind of these things, we try to correct the wrong as best as possible and ensure that we bring the community member, bring the business, whomever, the stakeholder before the residents, like we're doing now.
Mr. Fletcher,
I want you to
Mr.
know
Fletcher,
that. Yeah, yes.
let me say this to you.
Mhm.
I don't agree with the government's policies and things. If there was a liquor store that had requirements to meet, if it's a weed store, they should have the same requirements to meet. What I am saying is that the individuals who are planning on to try to put this store there, out of respect for the community, without the government's regulations, they should have came to the community and ANC and let them know what their intentions were so they could get our point of view instead of us sitting here bickering and sound like we're evil or anything at these individuals. I'm not mad at any of them. My
And you're
concern is
saying
that
this should have been done before the provisional license was
that's right.
I got you,
That's
sir.
right.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the
That's
same
why
page here.
That's why I say where the disrespect of the community comes into it. Because if I came across and wanted to open up a store in there, I'm coming to the ANC. I'm not worried about the DC government. I want to make sure that the community accepts this first before I take the.
Mr. Lockett, can I ask you one question?
Go ahead, sir.
This is no disrespect to you. And just so you know, I'm 56 years old, so I fully respect you. Have you ever been self-employed?
Have
You
I
don't
ever
have,
been self-employed?
yeah, you don't have to answer, but have you ever opened up any type of business, any type of store, or any type of, have you ever had any type of business? Have you ever been self-employed?
I have participated with a relative in opening up one. Yes.
Okay, so let me just say this to you. One, I'm never going to disrespect the community because we live in Ward 5. We live, as I said, I'm 50 years old. I've been a resident of DC my entire life. We live at Rhode Island Lawrence. So never will we ever have any in our mindset that we want to come and disturb any community. So what the process with ABRA is that you want APCA, one, you have to abide by their rules and regulations to even be awarded the license. That's the first part of it. So the second part of it is that you find a location. Once we found the location, we immediately got in touch with the ANC immediately. So that's why we're here now. But the process was we had to invest our money in it, in this investment. You lose your money, you lose your money. But no disrespect to you or our community, that is Abacus process. That once you get your provisional, then you now have to find a location. You can't do anything on a location. Once you find a location, then we went in because a lot of landlords feel different kind of ways. Some of them like it, some of them don't like it. And then immediately we came where we are now to the ANC. So we have not opened. So just so you know, we have not opened the facility. We're here right now, bringing it to our community to make you guys abreast that this is our intentions. This is what we're trying to do, and
Are
we're
you
hoping that.
telling me? Are you telling me here that before you did the rental of that property, that you had notified the ANC for 5A about what you were trying to do? Are you
Yeah,
telling me that?
yes, sir. We have numerous emails, but we've been back and forth with ANC, and thank God that everyone has responded, and that's why we're here now.
Well, Mr.
But we
Fletcher, we got a problem.
property, we had to rent the property before.
Man, what I am saying to you is that you're telling me that prior to you renting that property, that you contacted the
No.
ANC
No,
5A.
No,
no,
that's not what they're saying.
Mr. Locke,
Then my-
the
then I
initial
rest my
process,
case.
Mr. Locke, is the original process that when you go and do your due diligence, we're able to turn anything over you like. We have to first get it clear through Abacus map. So we look for property, we turn in the Abacus. Once we turn in the Abacus and Abacus approve the location, we go in, we sign out, we negotiate with the landlord, we sign our lease. Immediate when we done that, then we started to contact our ANC that we're dealing with now.
Well, sir, that's what I'm trying to tell you. What you did is disrespectful to us. You went on and processed that if though you're gonna move in there and conduct your business without the community's input. That's not fair to us.
Mr.
And we're here
Lockhead,
now discussing that
Mr.
now.
Lockhead, we've already secured the lease. We have not moved in. So when you're saying disrespect, let me just finish 1 second.
Go ahead.
Again, we're not here to disrespect anyone. We're here now bringing our intentions to the table and hoping that you bless it and the community bless it. So we're
Well-
not, we have not opened the doors. We have not done any of that in any of that manner. We're here
Well,
now.
sir,
I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
you do not have my blessing, sir, because I still see this as a disrespect to the community in your process, what the government says you have to do. That should have been done prior to you putting a down payment and possibly losing your money or making the community say, I'm gonna put it here, you like it or not. That's not fair.
Okay, I wanna come back to Mr. Lockett because I know we probably will, and I want to get to some other of the community members. Mr. Lockett, you know I'm not trying to quiet
Okay,
you
I
either
heard you. I feel you. I feel you.
because we got some other folks that have questions. So I want to go to Miss Deb, and then I'm going to go to Bill, and then I'm going to go to I see Susan. Susan has a comment, a question in the chat, and then Carmen. Okay, so Miss Deb, you're first, and then after that I'm going to go to Bill.
Thank you. My first question is Jubilee. Is that the name of your business?
Yes, ma'am.
And second, do you own more than one location?
No, this is our first location.
Okay. And you mentioned that you started exchanging emails when you secured the lease. When did you secure the lease?
Sue, can you answer that? Or maybe 2 months, maybe 2, 3 months ago. Susan, can you answer that question? Maybe I don't have the exact date, but I think maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
So in August?
I don't have the exact date, but maybe 3 or 4 months ago. When my wife come back to the phone, she would have that.
Okay. Because I saw Instagram posts video where you were showing the location back in August.
Well, that's when we signed the lease.
And it said that you were hiring for 2 locations.
That's when we signed the
That
lease.
one as well as one in downtown DC.
Yeah, we don't have it. We didn't get it.
Okay, but you knew of that location as far back as August.
Ma'am, what's your last name?
Excuse me?
What's your last name?
That's not relevant here.
I was just okay, you can go ahead and proceed if you like.
So what's the current status of the license? Where are we in the process? Maybe this is Gordon, you know the answer.
This is from everything I know, this is a professional license that has been approved by APCA for Jubilee.
Right. So there's only a certain period of time to provide comments. Are we still within that window?
We are within that window right now.
And so they have provided, did they provide the appropriate notification to you and all
They
the other
did.
ANCs?
They did, and that's what started when they came before the ANC in the end of October.
Okay. And the question about the security plan that was shared during the October meeting, some of it looks like it was pulled from another application because it refers to cameras facing railroad tracks, et cetera, that don't exist. So is that part of the approved security plan? Or the plan?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question. Hello?
Yeah, and Ms. Deb, tell me if I'm saying this incorrectly. Deb was asking about your security plan. The security plan that has been presented seems to be one that was copied, at least parts of it was copied from a previous application. Is that basically what you're asking?
Yeah, it said Jubilee will visually record and monitor all building entrances and exits, all parking lot areas, the rear of the building immediately adjacent to the railroad tracks, and will visually record the entire inside of the facility, including all limited access areas, etc. So there are no railroad tracks. So
I don't know what security plan he sent, but we have an updated version that is very detailed.
I'm looking at what you was presented in October
Oh, well,
at the ANC meeting.
Yeah, that's probably changed. We have, that might have been for another potential location, but we have a solid security plan, that was done by a security company for that specific location that we probably would not just hand out because we paid quite a bit of money for that plan. But the plan is solid and it will be approved by APCA. That is something that we submit to APCA. That is not something that we would necessarily give to the public, for reason being, obviously, we don't want everyone knowing our security plan. That would
This is part of the presentation you all presented. So
right, I understand that, but maybe his assistant uploaded something incorrect. So
I
my
guess,
apologies for the error.
so again, unless we see some specifics about the security plan, what the layout's going to look like, I don't know how ANC can support this.
Well, the security plan will be based on cameras that are ongoing rolling. I'll put it to you like this. What we can do is we can take the security plan requirements from ABCA and we can share that with you, and everything in those requirements will be in our security plan.
That's already on the app. That's readily available. So already.
Right. So everything in that plan is mandated will be in our plan, but we can't share with you our entire plan because then it would be a breach of our security, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm just going by what you all shared.
Well, I apologize. That was done in error.
So to add to what Ms. Deb stated, and I do tend to agree here that it's going to be very difficult for us, the ANC as a whole, to vote on this, to support this. Just saying if, right? If we don't have, I think we would need to see the most updated yet confidential plan that you can present on Wednesday. I think we need to see something because security, this is a quiet family community, security, protection, safety is of the utmost importance. So I would say,
Mr. Patrick, let me butt in real quick. My phone was out. You'll see that she's talking about the mutuo de nero, like how the money gets transferred, and the security plan is you'll have the full security plan that's required by ABRA. She's just talking about the mutuo de nero. We'll have.
Well, it's very detailed, which involves us. We're required to have a vote. We're required to have security in terms of bringing product in and out and bringing money in and out. So that's what I'm referring to. So we'll be able to give you a portion of the security plan in regards to the camera plan.
Okay.
And the actual security arms for security guards and so
You'll have so let me say for a second. You will have the full security plan that's the code for ABRA. What she's talking about is internal movement in terms of mutuo de nero. If we're making that kind of money and the truck's got to come grab money. But ABRA requires us to have a security plan. So whatever Abra asks us, and if you guys say, hey, well, it's something in reason, we'll give it to you. It's not a big deal. We want to be secured ourselves. The whole plan of it, the biggest thing their biggest requirement is having the cameras rolling 24 hours a day. And that's what we want. So that way you have inside, outside. If something was to happen on that strip mall, even across the street, they can come over and get our cameras and see what happened.
Okay,
If that makes any sense to you guys.
it does. Okay. Next. Okay. Bill.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Since everybody's giving a little history about how long they lived around here and all that kind of stuff, I've been in me and my family have been in this neighborhood since 1957. I was born at Freeman's Hospital, Georgia Avenue, 1945. I'm a long-term resident of this community. I'm very familiar with this community and its personality. And for example, when I found out, I used to be a Washington Post paper boy. And when I found out that the McDonald's was coming after reading the Washington Post business section a long time ago, I said, oh, goody, I heard about this place. And I hope the community don't find out about it because they do not want no McDonald's down here on South Dakota Avenue. Well, they didn't find out and McDonald's got in. My point is this neighborhood has a personality of certain stuff they want and they don't want. That area down there used to be nothing but, a lot of people don't know this, but that was a bunch of used car lots down there on that South Dakota Avenue or whatnot, at that corner. Now I have some questions and some comments on what people have said and some stuff that I did some research on. And some questions, especially some questions for the people the applicants for this approval or for this little site.
Well,
in the chat, hello?
Listen.
Okay, in the chat, I put a link to ABCA's site where they outlined a procedure for a protest from the community. That protest description that they processed is on that link, in that link, is the same as the protest for when we community fought a liquor store down there. It's the same kind of thing that I don't know if you know this, but we've been for years, at least as far as I know, for the last 20, 30 years, we always fight back any substance abuse type stuff like alcohol, liquor stores, beer and wine licenses. We fight them like with tooth and nail around here. So you can imagine why you're not going to get the support from the community that you're looking for. But we're going to play this game for a while. Now, my complaint though, like what Lockett was complaining about, is a notice to the community that the ABCA, somebody's in trouble. ABCA or our ANC, Mr. Fletcher, you especially because that's your SMD.
You don't.
I want to know.
I'm not in trouble. You don't need to say my name. You've already
I'm sorry. All right. Take it back.
There we go.
I'm not gonna, okay, let it go. The ANC, something's went wrong. So now that ABCA site is hard to navigate, but there's a process called placarding where you put up some kind of sign in front of the place where the business is going to open up. That placarding thing does exist. I can't find it. I don't know where. It's somewhere it's in the process somewhere. So my question is, did the applicants placard that building, put a sign that says, community, we coming with this thing? And this notice is given, and one part of my research, I didn't save it, is that every SMD is supposed to be notified of this proposed opening of a marijuana store. That did not happen. So if they're going to try to get an application, my proposal, Mr. Fletcher, is that we go to ABCA and tell them we didn't get notice. You supposed to placard it and forget about what they didn't do. ABCA didn't. Or now they said they came to the ANC. And then every time he just told Lockett that he went to the ANC. And my question, like I had the last meeting, when did the ANC know and how did they know? We just found out about this thing. But I'm going to leave that alone.
That part.
please, I got a
Okay.
bunch of, I want to end this real quick.
Understood.
Question,
No
this is
problem.
a question, this is a question for the applicants. Are you going to have, you don't have to answer right away. Are you going to have summer garden? Now, people in the chat might not know what a summer garden is. That's where you put up maybe inside the store or somewhere around the store. You have like a little, like when you go into the Safeway, they may have a little, or the store, they may have a little tasting of the wine and stuff that's in the store. Well, summer garden is where the cannabis store have a little, I don't know what they do. They test out stuff and whatnot. So I can see them put a big old tent up out there on the lot and have a little summer garden. That's question number one. I want to know also, I heard about the second location, so that's out. Okay, that's out. So that's a question for the applicants also. Did applicant give you a placard to post? If so, when and why didn't you put it up? Will you be selling edibles? I also did some research to give you my history. Back in the day, I was an alcoholic and a drug abuse counselor in a methadone clinic. So I've got some serious concerns about mixed emotions and whatnot about a marijuana dispensary in a community like North Michigan Park here down on South Dakota Avenue. I got problems with that based on my knowledge of some things about how marijuana, contrary to what people say, is a gateway drug. Security. Here again, did some research and some newspaper articles and whatnot. There's for the community and information, there are a bunch of other ANCs fighting APCA and these dispensaries. In fact, one has got them held up real good in court right now. Someone from the ANC, a news article I read recently, someone from the ANC, I wish I had written the name down, said that it seemed like it was from the ANC headquarters, whatever that is, that a problem with these medical marijuana facilities is that is security. It was described as robbery magnets. Mm-hmm. So I just thought I would share that information. As far as my notes are concerned, I think I covered everything I wanted to get. So I want to know about the summer gardens, and especially the placarding. Now, to the community and to the ANC commissioners, I suggest we do not give them any kind of approval right now. I'm strong in favor of a protest. And if we lose the protest with a strong settlement agreement, especially for the summer gardens feature that they like to tack onto these facilities. And if they didn't do placarding, and if placarding is required, they gotta have to start all over again. I'm done for now.
Okay, so Susan and Mr. Webster, I don't think I remember your first name, but
I'm Russell.
Okay, Russell, Susan Russell. So 4 questions there. Summer garden, the placard.
I wrote them down, yeah.
Okay.
So let me just say this to you, Mr. Bill. So the placard stage is coming soon. Once we the process for APCA is that you go in, you meet the requirements to get the license. Once you get the license, they give you Susan, what's it called again? The license that we have. And so once we have that provisional, so then next we look for location. We secure we get the proof from APCA that this location is in compliant with them. Then we go into the landlord, very much like a nightclub and liquor stores, and then we come to the ANC. Once those requirements are met, and then once we return our security plan and our lease back into APCA, then that's when we go into platting. So we're close now to going into platting, and you can protest, you can do whatever you like, because it'll be platted on the location. if that helps you understand. Summer gardening is not the same as just like the sidewalk cafe that you're talking about. Summer gardening is actually on a rooftop. Um, uh, and now those are not permitted because the medical cannabis world does not have, in DC, does not have any recreational aspects to it. So you can't consume on the property, you can't consume off the property. Not like a liquor store where you do testing and you can walk in and get you can get samples. That's not allowed in Washington DC. I think in New York you can smoke outside of restaurants. That's not allowed in Washington DC, and we're not a restaurant as well. Um, those were your two main questions. What was the other two? I'm sorry.
You know, security and edibles.
Yeah, so edibles are definitely welcome in the community because because right now, Miss Webster, she cannot consume the smoke any longer. So the edibles actually helps her get sleep. If you Google that, it also helps the pain. Um, so edibles are definitely needed in that community. Security. So let me just address something that you were talking about the court. So what the government is doing now, what Abaca is doing now, that particular case you're talking about, they've been targeting and shutting down the illegal locations. And these illegal locations, the marijuana, the edibles, are not tested. So there's a case in court now where they've been shutting them down. They seized the money and they has not returned the money. So they went in and trying to sue the government. It was an injunction done in New York. Everybody's kind of following New York. They were allowed a 14-day stay. That's not going to happen. So in DC, they call the illegal ones that you're talking about are called Rule 71, where you can walk into a facility. They call them smoke shops. You can purchase a T-shirt and then they can gift you the marijuana. So what DC is doing now, they're shutting them down. Thank God. Mayor Bowser just passed a new law maybe about 2 months ago that now they have the full authority. They had authority, but there was a lot of back and forth to go in and shut these facilities down. So that way, when you have the legal medical marijuana license, one, your marijuana has to be tested. Two, it has to be grown in Washington D.C. And three, it has to abide by ABCA rules. If that give you a clear understanding. The ones that has been targeted for robbery, no different than the liquor stores and the restaurants. Maybe that they were attracting a younger generation that were going in and buying this thing called hip hop weed or hip hop marijuana, which is all these different kind of strands that just sends you out of your mind. The medical process is a little different because if you have aching legs, you can say, okay, your doctor can prescribe you the type of medical marijuana that you need for aching legs. What Ms. Webster was telling you is that we have our doctors involved with our business. And so we're not just going to sell, we calling our place as Jubilee for Wellness because we're not going to just prescribe medical marijuana. We're also going to have different products that's prescribed through a doctor, along with if you walked in and you had headaches or if you had cancer or whatever your illness would be, you could say, I need this type of marijuana, this type of strand to help you. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
But I hate to cut in.
The only thing I
I
just want to add one thing here, just for everyone's understanding, and just to be clear here, I have no dog in this fight either way. I'm going to support the community. However, I do want to make it clear that smoke shop and wellness center are not the same thing, right? And so that's what Russell, I believe, was talking about just now.
Correct.
But I just want to be very clear about that. That from what I'm understanding, this is not going to be something where it's a big smoke shop, vaping, smoking,
Not at all.
all these things that you see have been popping up all across the city, but especially in Ward 5, 7, and 8.
That's
Right?
what they're
That's
shutting
the
down.
problem, right?
That's what they're shutting down. Correct.
And so I believe that the wellness center, there's only one or two or three of those in each ward, and those are evenly distributed across the wards. Now, again, I just want to be clear about that. It's not a smoke shop like we have been seeing around the city a lot. That's it.
Not at all. Not at all. And you could, if you want to look at our model, you guys probably can go to Tacoma Wellness Center. They've been there for 13 years. I think that our model is kind of similar to theirs, where they sell CBD products. A lot of products is sanctioned. I'll turn it. I'll if you ever get a chance to meet our doctor, he's an incredible physician, but he's well on it. You know, he made us all go and study CBD, THC, and also, you know, made us study the other products that a cancer patient or leukemia patient or whatever their illness is would need. So that is our focus. We're not looking to have our staff, my a wife and kids in a facility where young guys are pulling up in this different type of music and dropping it like it's hot. That's what we're not looking for ourselves. So we're not going to present something to you guys in our community that speaks that. It's not going to happen. I'm just letting you know that. We're not doing no hip hop weed. We're not doing, it's not going to happen. We're going to be in full compliance, you know, as if I don't own a liquor store, but as if it was a liquor store, as if it was a nightclub. You have to be 21 years old. There'll be a buzzer to buzz you in the door. When you enter into the location, you have to present your ID. If you do not have a medical card, you have to get in line to get a medical card. Then there will be another wall, another door. You enter to that door, you buy your product, and you leave. So what happens is that when you enter in, we have a daily count of who's in the building. So if something happens, sorry, we know you were there. There's cameras there that roll 24 hours, and there's security on both ends, outside and inside, to usher you in, usher you out into your car.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna keep order here.
Okay.
So we got because we got dedicated members
Okay.
who haven't.
My bad.
No, it's all good, Mr. Lockett. I know. You know, we're good, man. We're good. Susan, I know you have been very patient as well. You posted your question in the chat, and I can read it in the chat, Susan. Or if you want to speak, you have the floor as well, ma'am.
Yes, I can hear.
No. I'm sorry. We have two Susans.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. You can just read it, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me go back to it. The question was, hold on, because it was a good one. It was a relevant one. Oh, here it is. Oh, I thought we just had it.
It was define how you want to enhance the community with your business.
Thank you, Commissioner Bukuma. Yes. To both of you, could you please answer that? And I think that also dovetails into another community member, Ryan Pierce, his question or comment around beautifying that strip. So if you could please just talk a little more about how you look to enhance the community, what benefits you're looking to provide the community, and also how you look to enhance that area.
So one, and Susan is not talking as much, you guys, because she's doing the radiation, if you don't mind me sharing that, Susan. But in whatever you like. Miss Susan, we've been in contact with the landlord, really nice guys. They're in the Asian community, and we talked about, hey, can we help facelift the front of the building? He says, you have my blessings to paint your location. We talked to the Chinese neighborhood next door. I don't know if you heard the call earlier, but I was saying I don't eat curryouts, none. American food, Chinese food. I've been in the food business for years. That particular Chinese restaurant is one of the cleanest I've seen, and I remodeled most of the ones in Chinatown. So I don't think they're going to have a problem with their side in doing a facelift. And it's just really going to be a coat of paint, fixing glasses, the glass windows is broken, coming with a uniform system with the gates and the signs. So we are 100% for that. Our facility, you can eat off the floor. It's going to model like an Apple unit, but very small, Apple phone store. What was the second question? Because I just wanted to answer the biggest one, kind of we short time.
And so how do you look to benefit?
I got it.
And just to give you some examples,
I got it.
You know, community businesses that come to the community provide scholarships.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. I got it.
Okay.
So we are on our other businesses. We have nonprofit. Susan runs a company called Sterling, which provides care for needy children, needy family. In our circle, we have psychiatrists. We have a whole team of people in our circle itself. We are totally community based. We've been there for 17 years at our house in Lawrence. When we came there by us being builders, we remodeled our house and we keep it updated for the last 18 years to make sure that the housing in that area, the number continues to goes up. We are open to helping the community any way, shape, form, and fashion. We're not here to steal from the community. One, we want to provide a substance that really can help because has helped my wife. That's the first piece for us is one, helping the health community, bringing health products to the community that's alternative from using all these different drugs that have side effects. That's number one. Number two, we're open to whatever the community would suggest to us. If it's South Dakota Day, if it's whatever it is, if there's scholarships, we're open to sow back into the community with being active in the meetings with the ANC to provide anything that we can, because we have kids and grandkids. So this is no gimmick. This is no conversation I'm just having with you guys. This is what we do on a daily basis. My house is called the Graysale Mansion, and I've given and I'm still actively give scholarships. And my scholarship is a little different that I give. It's through my grandmother, and it's not just a scholarship to give you. So when the schools give the kids the money to go to the, whatever you call the scholarships, I've noticed that over the years, kids received the scholarship but didn't have any funding or support to stay in school or to have a meal or be able to travel back and forth. So we created a scholarship through our other nonprofits that support that piece for them. Last but not least, my uncle ran Alliance of Concerned Men for 30 years. He just retired. He will be involved in our business. He negotiated, and I can see in his documentation anytime you like, he negotiated close to 100 truths in the communities and was able to bring crime down in all the communities. So that's what we have on our arsenal to bring to the table.
So what and again, what you're gonna need, because I think Mr. Lockett said this and Bill said this before, this is gonna be, no matter what, this is gonna be a journey. If the community votes to protest, that's a journey. If the community votes to provisionally support, that's a journey too. But I still think that a lot of the things that you're talking about, we need to see in a written form. We need to see so that we can disseminate it, like a list of the potential community benefits. I know it's more work on your end, but that's just how we are as a community. We have to see these things.
It's not that serious. As long as everybody want to play ball together and come together as a full community and accept us. We've been here for 18 years.
Yeah,
So whether you accept us or not, I've been in my house for 18 years. My mortgages and my transfer, my taxes has been paid for 18 years. So if you guys accept us, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of work for us. Whatever we need as a team, we're team members.
And then something else that, because I teach a lot of young people, and I think a lot of young people, they don't understand the laws around marijuana use in the District of Columbia. Is very confusing to some because of the fact that DC is not a state, and our marijuana laws, our laws overall, are still governed and controlled by Congress. I think it's important that if you do go forward, that you also provide an educational component, because folks need to be educated on what to do, what not to do, how to utilize marijuana in a safe way, your laws, around it, because there's a lot of confusion around it. I don't think a lot of people even know about I-71 or what it means. So that's something else.
Definitely not opposed to that. I mean, we can get together and anything you like, we'll share. We'll put pamphlets, we'll put booklets. Definitely not opposed to that. We can when we open, you guys can, if you feel free to have classes inside the establishment.
Well, yeah, but these things that we're looking for you to potentially lead and provide opportunities for. But we could talk more about that when we get there. I'm just throwing things out there now.
Yeah, we're open now to provide that and make that happen. That's not a heavy lift. And then when we actually get open, we're not opposed to having classes inside the establishment.
Okay. I think we have Carmen Williams is on, the president of North Michigan Park Civic Association. Carmen, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Hope you're
Chairman.
feeling better.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm hoping that I can invite you to the next North Michigan Park meeting because the facility that you're proposing to open is within the North Michigan Park community, so that you can feel the blunt of the residents who live there. I do have a couple questions. The first question I have is, you said that you were going to open 2 facilities. One is not going to open. Tell me why that one is not going to open.
It wasn't our location. We were consulting for another license holder.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello,
Carmen, we can hear you, but I'm not sure you can hear us.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't our location. We were actually consulting for another license
I can
holder.
hear you.
He's talking now.
So why was that one not approved?
It is approved. They didn't at least. We were consulting for another license holder.
I can't hear him.
Okay. I'm not sure why. Can everyone else hear Russell? Commissioner Bukun, can you hear
Yes,
Russell?
I just think there's some background noise coming from somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the second question that I have is, if the proposed facility is open and you take care of the security within your establishment, how do you propose to handle the loitering outside?
So I don't know if you can hear me, but now there's no loading outside, and will be no loading outside. Medical marijuana patients come up, they pull up, they buy their marijuana, and they leave very discreet. So our security will be inside and outside.
Okay, as with most liquor stores, they also have that same scenario where you're not supposed to loiter outside. That's what happened up on 12th Street. The one on 12th Street didn't last. There is an issue because the police can't even enforce the no loitering.
The one on 12th Street, man, was illegal.
I don't know how you
location.
plan on doing it.
The one on
next
12th Street,
piece
the
that
one
I
on
have
12th Street
is
the one on
the
12th Street is
owner-
illegal.
Yes, it was a legal location, but it didn't last.
It was an illegal location. Illegal.
Okay.
Illegal
Illegal.
location. Not
Okay,
not
so-
sanctioned by APSA.
Okay, so
What is the line?
Somebody has background noise that it might be, that thing that might be was creating a little bit of barrier to hearing everyone properly.
okay, and that might be me. So let me move.
Okay.
Is that better? Okay.
It is better.
Okay. The owner of the property, the Asian company, I'm surprised that they leased to you, because they moved all of the blacks out who previously had leases in their facilities. And they only leased from then on to other Asians. They said that you could come in and you could clean up, but that's only your facility. Yums, the lights on Yums have been out for about 5 years. So I don't know how you're going to get them to fix that. The property that's outside, the parking lots. No, we got on them before when they were trying to open a liquor store there. They still haven't fixed it. I don't know how you plan on coming out to do something to enhance the beautification of the area when the landlord won't let you do it.
I think that's a really critical question and statement for Russell and Susan. We definitely, it has been, ever since I've been in the community, I have known the landlords of that strip mall not to be very amicable.
Well, let me, Mr. President, let me tackle it real quick because I know you pressed for time. One, I am African American, Susan's African American, and we've got a lease there. So praise God in the mighty precious name. We have a lease there. So now they have taken the first step. They have leased to African Americans. That's number one. Number two, if you guys want to go and protest them, we'll go to our banks and we'll buy them all. Number three, We can't go into what you guys have not done in 5 years. What we're going to do and what we said and what we asked the owners, can we come in, give you guys a very simple, inexpensive plan to fix the cascade of your property? They said, yes, you can with your location. We then talked to the neighbors next door to the carryout, and they says, we would not be opposed. We would like to hear. We're going to try to put a fresh coat of paint on that mall. And we're going to try to do it
I heard
in
you,
less
Carmen.
than 5 years, 6 years, 1 day, 2 day. But again, we are African American, and guess what? We now have a lease there that you can help support.
They previously had Africans American than there before that they have booted out.
But that's not what you said. You said that they would
No,
not
they have
break the
been,
lease.
they moved them
You
out.
said they moved them
And
out.
there
So
have
they
been,
just moved us
the
in.
property has been vacant where you're moving into. There are 2 properties, there are 3 properties there, there are actually 4. You got Yums, where the cleaners used to be, the t-shirt store, and then there used to be another cleaners on the end. Okay, those are 4 establishments that are there. The only one that has lasted has been Yums. You got Yums. The cleaners moved out after the pandemic. And then the other 2 stores never really opened because they started to open during the pandemic. Previously, the owners who were there or the lessees of those buildings were Black tenants that they booted out. And this has been going on 15 years now. 15 years they have not had tenants in those
Mr.
2
Fletcher, do
in
not know how you want
locations.
to address this, and I'm not going to overtalk anyone, but I don't know how you want to address this. I'm going to say it again. We are leaseholders. We're African Americans. We're there now. No one has booted me out anywhere. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to pay my rent. I'm going to be respectful to my landlord. I'm going to get approved anything I need to do with touching their property. That's all I can give you. I have no knowledge of who's been there before. I have no disrespect to you guys. What didn't happen 5 years, 4 years. I'm telling you right now, this is the best
Okay.
time to support 2 African Americans,
Okay,
doctors,
but you want to open
attorneys.
up a CBD store and they wanted to open up a liquor store, which means the owners of the property don't respect the community.
Thank you.
Well, you have to take that up with them.
Okay.
They don't
We're
respect
taking
the
it up with
community, which is why we fought not to have the liquor store. And again, you'll find the same thing with you trying to open up your facility. No, the community is going to fight back. And I don't know how much you know about North Michigan Park, but we are strong together.
So, with that being said, I still think that it is if you want to attempt to move forward with this, working with the ANC and the community, that you do go to the North Michigan Park Civic Association meeting. To be quite honest with you, everything that you're hearing, the process that we're going through with you, Susan and Russell, Mr. and Mrs. Webster, it's a process that we've done with any and every type of business such as this has come to this community since I've been around. And I've been on the ANC for four terms now. So I do also want to state, though, that this is not a smoke shop, and I don't want this to get I don't want, from what I'm hearing, for folks to equate this to a smoke shop when it's not a smoke shop. That's the one thing I have just to be honest about the situation. But this is the community, and this is how we are, and ANC 5A will support the community in whatever way the community votes and moves with this project, like we always have.
Let me say
Couple more
this.
questions.
Let me just say, I welcome your question, but I just want to piggyback on one thing. This is not a smoke shop. Ma'am, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. I asked the other lady what was her last name because I wanted to address you properly. I'm not coming. I will be present at the meetings from day forward once I'm abreast the date and time. If I'm out of town, my Susan Webster be there. I'm not coming to battle. I'm not coming to fight you guys. I'm coming as I live in that community. And I've been there for 17, 18 years. So
You
I'm
live,
not coming.
I'm
My
sorry, you
daughter,
live in North Michigan Park? I
we
No,
thought you
live
lived in
in
Woodbridge.
we
You
live
live
in
in Woodbridge.
Woodbridge.
We
That's not
live
North
right
Michigan
off of
Park.
South Dakota Avenue.
Right, that's Woodbridge. That's not North Michigan Park.
Ma'am, I don't know if
Right.
you've been to Washington Hospital Center, but my daughter she ran the ER for 10 years. She's now moved out in Maryland to other locations. So
Holy Cross.
again, say Holy Cross. Again, I'm saying to you, I'm not against you. I'm not battling you. I'm not going to give you any tone that you're giving me. I will be at the locations, and I'm for the community. Whatever, I can't give you nothing else. I've been living
And,
on South Dakota and Lawrence for 18 years.
and my suggestion, Mr. and Mrs. Webster, when you do, everything that you're hearing in this meeting, use it and come even more prepared. When we're talking about the renderings, we're talking about the security plan, we're talking about the community benefits, we're talking about the proper notice. I would come with documents that you can share even a day before, when you go before North Michigan Park. I'm gonna be honest. This is my last week as an ANC commissioner, so I've been doing my best trying to see this through, um, every way possible. But this is also going to be an issue that's going to start in one term, one administration, and it's going to carry over into another administration. And I'm going to be very clear about that as well. My wife can't wait. My kids can't wait. So yeah, that's kind of, so I just want to be very open in with that. But I'm here every step of the way up until my term is over to assist with this, because this is very important. And I can see
Yeah.
this another one of those issues that we have folks that feel very strong about this. And the folks that feel strong about this, I gotta let you know, Mr. and Mrs. Webster, they've been part of North Michigan Park for decades. But I also know you have new residents that move in here and may be open to different things. So it's just a matter of understanding where we are. And this is North Michigan Park of Ward 5.
Right.
Mr. Fletcher, we
Can I
don't
ask
We
want
a
to see you
question?
go, but
appreciate.
God bless you. And I'm 56 years old, so if anything I can do to help the ANC in the community, I'm available. But we don't want to see you go. But we're not against our own community.
Yeah.
I know you said North Michigan Block. We live in Woodridge.
But
I'm
we're
sorry.
in Ward 5.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm sorry that you differentiate too. But I've been on South Dakota Strip for 18, 19 years. I'm 56 years old.
Yeah,
So
no,
again,
it's not differentiating. It's just when you come to the ANC perspective, you have to understand the ANC commissioners in Woodridge. They have a certain way that they probably do things as well. And they are connected to the Woodbridge Civic Association. So it's just the same thing, right? So I'm not trying to create unnecessary turf wars or anything like that. That's
Right.
what it's about.
And that's the thing. We want to partner with you all. We want it to be a win-win for all parties. I don't know what you envision will happen other than good things. So it would be no different than a pharmacy opening up in your neighborhood.
Not
It would,
across the street.
it would be no different.
Yes, it would.
It would
Now,
be run no different, sir.
let me share something with you, ma'am. I'm a 74-year-old disabled Vietnam veteran, and explain to the gentleman, my daughter ran the payroll for the emergency room for almost 10 years. Okay? I've been there. Now, the couple of questions I'd asked you earlier was pertaining to location.
Okay.
I ride through the street at Fort Lincoln, that shopping center there got vacancies. Okay? At Brentwood, across from the Home Depot, that shopping center has vacancies. Why not choose it? Why not go there? It's because you have to pay so much rent. You would rather destroy a community just to
That's
save
always
money?
terrible. That's a
Yeah,
terrible for sure.
but
Because
ma'am,
rent now and we're not even open, which is something that ABCA requires in order to even open a space. You almost have to have a location secured and pay rent before you can get your full approval. So Absolutely, that's factored in.
So am I to assume all this discussion we're having, you're still gonna put effort to put your store there or your whatever weed store there? Is that the intention you're telling us here tonight? No matter what
Most
we say.
definitely, we've already signed our lease. We're going to work to open up our facility. If you would like to
Okay,
help me pay my rent
then I tell you what, sir.
at the Giant,
I tell you
then
what,
help me.
if
But
I
last
say,
time I was at the
Sir,
Giant, there was crime.
we don't want this to be a battle.
it
We
is,
don't
man,
want this.
because you disrespected us, but not coming to us
Okay.
first before you leased.
Mr.
been
Lockett,
telling
let's try not to have our voices raised and let's all.
Right. We
But
don't
my
want
point
this
is,
to be this
I'm
way.
not gonna sit here after living here over 50, almost 50 years and allow somebody to bring something to our community that we don't want or we don't need. Between a church and a family restaurant, 24 hours, or is it 24 hours or 7 days a week, even on Sunday, we got people over there buying, and as Carmen Williams said, what are you gonna do about the disorderly people that decide to come up there parking in the parking lot, contemplating on how they can get it? Now, the next one is, you said something in here that people come in here, they have to have a prescription. You sit there and said a minute ago, they can get one there. Is that true?
No, they have to have a card, which is given by the
Okay.
government in order
And if
to,
they don't have a card,
then they
you give
can't,
them one?
they can't come in. They can't purchase.
So how do we know that you're gonna operate that business professionally and not let people come in and buy without a card? How
Because
do we know that?
it's the same way that you would know it. Put it like this: we would not risk losing our license by not being in compliance.
Didn't you
We
just
would
tell us about the people who are running these stores illegally? They risk their
Yes,
life
but
and their
those are
livelihood.
I-71s. Those are not stores that have been licensed by.
Excuse me one second. No disrespect to you, but it sounds like you're going to continue on attacking us, and you're going to continue on. So state your case to Mr. Fletcher. State your questions to the ANC. We're going to provide whatever you guys ask us for. I see at this moment now,
Sir,
there's nothing we
sir.
can say to make you happy. So now you're being disrespectful.
I'm not trying to make myself happy.
Hold on, everyone.
I'm telling you what I'm not going to tolerate you to put in our community.
Come on, Mr. Lockett. I know you're very passionate about this, but you know we got to have order. And so, at this point, you've heard a list of things, you know, that you need to present. I believe you present those. What I'm thinking now is what is best is you go to the North Michigan Park meeting, you present at the meeting on Wednesday. At that meeting, I'm telling the community, I'm telling everyone, okay, there's not enough folks on this call for a vote right now because we typically need at least 20 people to vote because this doesn't represent the community. But
Mr. Fletcher,
yes,
he said that doesn't make a difference. We could tell him no, and he's still gonna put that there.
But then, and again, in full transparency, he could say that, right? And if the ANC votes to protest, then we protest. We do what we do as the ANC.
What we do.
And Mr. and Mrs. Webster do what they do as business owners. And APCA will make the decision, you know, at a duly notified public hearing, just like they did with the liquor license several years ago. You know, that's where we are. I'm hoping something else can come about. If that can't happen, then that's where we are. That's where we are. And so, yes.
What, Mr. Locker? But I just don't understand the logic in not wanting an upgraded strip mall, a professionally run business. I don't understand why you would not want that in your community.
Safety.
I don't understand your passion or your zeal
I don't have
behind.
a passion. It's about the safety.
I don't understand your being so adamant about us not. We're just simply trying to open up a business.
And I'm worried about the safetiness in our community.
Sir, with all due respect, it will bring more safety to your community.
I doubt that,
because
ma'am.
of the fact it will.
You have no control outside.
Sir,
You have no control outside of that building.
So
sir,
again, Susan, Mrs. Webster,
maybe
my
maybe I
suggestion
will
here.
have to, would it help and maybe it will make you trust more if we are able to disclose some of the other businesses that we have run, as well as our parents before us, meaning that we are business people. We come from business people. We do not
Well, ma'am,
come from, we understand
ma-
exactly how to run businesses efficiently and effectively without breaching security. So I'm
ma'am,
saying that with all due, yes, sir.
may I share with you what I did?
Yes.
If you know,
Okay,
there's a place called the United States Naval Observatory.
I
That's the home to
understand.
the Vice President of the United States.
I
I ran it for
understand.
14 years. I didn't wash no windows or cut grass. I ran the whole place, the house and everything. I'm not a
Uh,
dumb black man. Okay. I'm very
I didn't get
knowledgeable
word.
and I worry about the safetyness of my community. And I worry
Mm,
that individuals going to come up there 7 days a week, people coming from the church or coming out of the family restaurant, that somebody rushing to get out of there and going to come out that parking lot and end up in my driveway or my yard or running some kid that's trying to get past it to go to McDonald's or go to church. That's my problem. I thank you.
Okay. So yes, and as you see, Miss Bradley stated in the chat, she would like to see the renderings for this prospective location.
no problem.
So let's get all this together. Listen, everyone, this is just the process.
Yeah.
This is the process. Okay. This is what it is. You hear from the community, they let you know. And this is what Mr. Lockett is saying to Mr. and Mrs. Webster. If more businesses, more entities came to the ANC first, you would know all of these things, right? Before you went ahead and purchased a property. But again, you didn't know that you had to do that.
Right.
And this is I'm an expert as an ANC now. This is not the first time that this happened. Many times, for some reason or the other, the government does not provide the proper guidance to those that are looking to bring certain businesses or entities to our community. And now we're here again. And so I'm asking at this point, get all of the information together. Community members, Mr. Lockett, if Carmen, if there are more folks that need to be on this call that are not, the next one, have them join. Susan, Russell, if you know others who are supportive and that can further explain your position, bring them on the call, because it's the votes. I can't say this anymore. And beyond that, I'm letting Mr. and Mr. Webster know it's not about trying to separate North Michigan Park from all of Ward 5. This is just how North Michigan Park has been able to keep North Michigan Park a certain way all of these years, which is quiet, friendly, family oriented, right? So if schools come into the neighborhood or attempt to come into the neighborhood, they get the same line of questioning.
Yes.
Okay. So
Makes sense.
okay. So I just want you to understand that and be informed and be properly prepared going forward. We're not going to decide this tonight. That's clear.
I was just going to suggest one thing, that in the next meetings, I thought APCA was going to be on this call. So my suggestion that you have them in the meeting or the next call so that they can defend their own actions and their systems. Because I wouldn't mind seeing their system change as well too.
I misspoke. That's on me. I was looking at myself first. I did tell Ms. Webster that APCA was going to be on this call. I was mistaken. They're going to be on the call on Wednesday.
Oh, perfect.
So they'll be there on Wednesday. We're trying to make sure you get all the right players and stakeholders at the table to have a comprehensive conversation about this. So I'm asking you to please bring this information to the meeting. Please reach out to Carmen Williams. I'm not going to speak for Carmen, but Carmen will listen to you. I'm not saying she's going to change her position, but she'll listen and have you come before North Michigan Park. So do that.
Mr. Fletcher, I have two
we
little
will also
things.
be prepared to take a vote at the North Michigan Park meeting, since that's in the community in which you want to open. You're proposing to open your facility.
There we
I
go.
have two little things and I'm gonna walk away.
Sure.
One, did the owner of the facility tell you they have a rodent problem over there? I mean, a big, bad rolling problem, real bad. Okay, and we've been fighting that for 15 years to let you know that the owner don't care about this community. I can sit in my yard on a barely night and see 15 to 20 rats run across the street to the gas station, coming from there. So Yums might have a problem, need an inspector to go in there and check it out. But you do know that them rodents get into your product in there, you got to find a way to reproduce it, aren't you? And that is not fair to us.
Well, here's
And
the
also, they're building Kennedy Center, Kennedy Institution is building a new school right around the corner. Okay, they're
Okay.
tearing the old one down and building a new school there. Okay.
Okay. So with
They-
that being said, Ms. Webster, I want to be a gentleman. Do you want the last word before I close up?
I just wait till Wednesday. I'm just a little disappointed in the
But
response.
let me say this. Let me get the last word. Mr.
Say-
Fletcher, one, we're gonna miss you. God bless you on your endeavors and your family, and bless you with family where you headed. To everyone that's still on the call today, I'm 56 years old. I have kids and grandkids. I am not here to come into our community or your community, since it's divided from the different wards 5B and 5A, to bring any confusion, disruption to whatever you guys have already established over the years. I sat on the board in Ward 8 with Maranbury. I sat on the board on Brentwood and Rhode Island up in PG County, and I'm not opposed to. And I sat on the board for the condo communities down on Minnesota Avenue, and we own those buildings down there. And I brought something to the table. I was young at the time. I'm 56 years old, so I'm a little younger. So I'm not opposed to coming in. I'm not, when you see me, you're like, this little guy. I don't come in with no attitude. I'm not against anybody on the phone. Our team is here to help whatever we can do for the community. We'll everything. I took notes, Mr. Fletcher, on everything you said, and we actually had that. We have educational flyers and brochures. Anytime you guys ask us for something, we'll be able to provide it. We have a full in-house team that can put digital displays together, photos, literature, and we're pretty much knowledgeable about what's happening in the medical marijuana community. We have nothing to do, again, with the illegal smoke shops. So thank you guys for your time, but we're here to be in compliance. That's why, if you think about it, that's why we're here presenting to the ANC now.
Absolutely. And look, thank you. Thank you for your community service, your dedication as well, around the city. And let's continue moving forward with this. And I look forward to the presentation again on Wednesday. And again, please make sure you reach out to North Michigan Park President Carmen Williams. And to those that were able to join this evening, thank you so much. It's been an honor and privilege serving. I think it's also ironic that Commissioner Bukum is on the call because she now oversees some of the area that used to be my single member district before the redistricting. So Commissioner Bukum will be here. You'll have a group of I wouldn't say new commissioners. I think for those that have been around the community for a while, you'll see some familiar faces coming back. And so Wednesday will be my last official ANC meeting. So I want to make sure that we had a single member district meeting beforehand. So thank you all so much. And you'll have a great evening and a great night, and take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
Absolutely. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
God bless you guys. All right.